FL election worker signs sworn legal statement alleging major election fraud. Okay guys, this has gone from bad to way worse. Jeffcottcamp. Affidavit filed by Broward Elections employee in support of Caldwell lawsuit provides eyewitness account of elections staff filling in blank ballots. When this was reported, the employee was fired and told not to come back. It's bad. It's really bad. Deplorable. Signed Affidavit of Chelsey Smith, employee of Broward County. Affidavit of Chelsey Marie Smith. My name is Chelsey Marie Smith. I am over the age of 18, I am of sound mind, and I have personal knowledge of the facts contained in this affidavit. I was employed through a temporary employment agency KForce and was working full-time at the Broward County Supervisor of Elections hereinafter. SOE main office in Lauderhill, FL. My duties included clerical work as well as delivering various items, as needed, throughout the office. My regular hours were from 8:00 a.m. until approximately 9:00 p.m., depending on the need. As an employee, I regularly clocked in and out of work as required. As part of my regular duties, I frequently handled absentee ballots, including time stamping, registering new voter residences, sorting and delivering ballots to various sections of the SOE headquarters. One of my supervisors, Dozell Spencer, had reviewed the various ballots with me as part of my training. As such, I am very familiar with the appearance of those ballots. On October 31, 16 at about 8:30 p.m. I was instructed by my supervisor, Charlotte Shipman Smith, to carry a stack of absentee ballot request forms to another room in the building, which they referred to as the Pitney Bowes room. I had never previously been asked to go to that room. When I got to the Pitney Bowes room, I found that the entrance door was locked and required a security number to gain entrance. I was never provided with that security number, so I could not enter on my own. The door has a long thin window which was uncovered. Although I knocked several times, the people inside were too busy to notice. Through the door window one could clearly see 4 SOE employees sitting at a table with stacks of documents and writing something. Eventually one of the employees opened the door, took the ballots from me, and closed the door. I was not let into the room and the employee seemed very rushed. From the door window I was unable to determine what documents were on the table. I then returned to my regular workplace. I was then asked to deliver another stack of absentee ballot request forms to the same room. Once again, the employees initially ignored my knocking. I looked through the door window and could clearly see 4 SOE employees sitting at a table. Each person had a stack of documents next to them on one side and another stack on the other side, and they were all writing something on each document. Eventually an employee opened the door for me, and in a very hurried pace, allowed me in the room and told me to place my ballots on a different table. Once in the room, I could see the 4 SOE employees sitting at the same table actively filling out election ballots. Each had a stack of blank ballots to the right of them about an inch high and a stack of completed ballots to their left. There were perhaps a dozen in each completed stack. I could see that the bubbles on the right stack had not been filled in, while the bubbles on the left stack had been blackened in. I could also see the employees filling in the bubbles as they moved the ballots from right to left. I witnessed this activity for over a minute. Page 1 of 2. I could see that the SOE employees were using the same black pen's white body with a black cap that the SOE supplies to voters at the polling sites. I was then told to leave the room by one of the employees at the table. 9. T completed other duties in another section of the building and left about 30 minutes later. When I arrived home, I told my mother, Michelle Castellanos, what I had seen. I was initially frightened to report this activity to anyone at the SOE for fear of retaliation. 10. The following day I reported for work at the same office at 9:00 a.m., performed my regular duties and took my lunch break at the regular time. When I returned from lunch at 12:30, I was met by a uniformed security guard at the SOE entrance and told that I had been terminated, and was forced to immediately turn over my SOE credentials. I was warned that I was no longer welcomed in the SOE building and that I should never read them. I was given no explanation for this action. 11. I was able to determine the identity of one of the SOE employees using the Facebook site for the SOE office. The employee was Mary Hall. I recognized Ms. Hall from a group picture of SOE employees which is posted on the SOE Facebook page. I had also seen photographs of Mary Hall with her name on the walls in the SOE building. Finally, Mary Hall's Facebook page lists her employment with the SOE office. Thus, I can say that I saw Mary Hall, an SOE employee, sitting at the table in the Pitney Bowes room actively completing ballots with an SOE pen, and placing them into a stack. Mary Hall was also the employee who told me to leave the room. 11. I am executing this affidavit freely and voluntarily. I have not been pressured or enticed in any manner to provide this testimony. I am willing to fully cooperate with law enforcement in the investigation and prosecution of this matter. 11. Further affiant saith not. Chelsey Marie Smith. State of Florida, County of Broward. Before me, the undersigned authority, personally appeared Chelsey Marie Smith, who is personally known to me or having displayed the following identification herita des dos, and who after being duly sworn, deposits and states that, under penalty or perjury, the above listed facts are true and correct. Sworn to and subscribed before me this day, November, 2016. She watched poll workers fill out ballots. Do we know this happened for sure? Well, we don't have it on video. But we do have a signed affidavit from a poll worker. So I'm willing to bet something majorly fishy is going on. This might explain all of those mysterious ballots that just turned up. This is sickening. This was discovered after our previous report today, where we exposed that the Florida vote count official was accused of having more voters on rolls than eligible citizens. Broward County Board of Elections Supervisor Brenda Snipes is no stranger to controversy, corruption, and scandal. She has previously been accused of having more voters on the rolls than eligible citizens who can vote. Not to mention magically finding more and more ballots that vote for the Democratic candidate. Even though the election was days ago, she's still counting votes, and she is refusing to disclose how many are still not counted. She is being accused of voter fraud by the Republican Party and is part of a lawsuit filed by Governor Rick Scott against Broward County for mishandling the election. Breitbart has more on this ever-growing scandal. The Florida official put in charge of counting votes in Broward County, the most liberal county in the state for the gubernatorial and Senate race, was previously accused of having more voters on her rolls than eligible voters in the county. Despite the election occurring days ago, Broward County Board of Elections Supervisor Brenda Snipes continues tallying ballots, though she has refused to disclose how many ballots are still not counted. Republican Senate candidate Rick Scott has announced he will sue the county for mishandling the election. In 2016, Snipes had a lawsuit filed against her office by the American Civil Rights Union after they claimed she had more voters on the rolls in the county than eligible citizens in the area at one point. According to the lawsuit, filed by the Public Interest Legal Foundation, Broward County had more voters on their voter rolls than eligible citizens, with a 103% voter registration rate. The lawsuit also accused Broward County of having nearly 50 registered voters on the rolls who were older than the oldest living American at the time. One of those voters was allegedly listed as being 130 years old. Another 1,200 voters allegedly remained on the Broward County rolls despite using ineligible commercial addresses, and about 23% of the voters who died in 2011 were allegedly still on the county voter rolls in May 2012, the lawsuit stated. As Breitbart News reported, in May, a judge ruled that Snipes had violated state and federal law after she destroyed voter ballots in the state's 2016 congressional election. In the race, former Democratic National Convention DNC chairwoman Rep. Debbie Wasserman Schultz won re-election by less than 7,000 votes against Democrat primary challenger Tim Canova. JXHN Binder. Florida official overseeing vote count destroyed ballots, accused of not removing dead voters from rolls. The next year, when Canova asked to review the paper ballots in the race, it was revealed that Snipes destroyed the ballots only 12 months after the primary. Federal and state law mandates that ballots not be destroyed until 22 months after an election. The case exposed that Snipes' staff had opened ballots in private in 2016 on Election Day. President Trump said authorities are looking into potential election fraud in Broward County, writing online that Democrat lawyers are descending on Florida. Heavy check mark real Donald Trump. In the 2016 election I was winning by so much in Florida that Broward County, which was very late with vote tabulation and probably getting ready to do a number, couldn't do it because not enough people live in Broward for them to falsify a victory. They have been very clear they aren't here to make sure every vote is counted, Trump said. They are here to change the results of election, and Broward is where they plan to do it.